Greetings, Benjamin J. the Victrola Guy with another in the series on the tinfoil phonograph. As you can probably no doubt tell from the uploads, I've been doing a lot of work with this machine. Yesterday, it stayed in adjustment all day. And I've mentioned this in several of the videos that one of the most difficult things with this machine is keeping it adjusted. It's subject to temperature changes. Anyway, about 2 hours ago I came in here to do a quick recording and the stylus was just barely touching the foil. And it took one full turn of this adjustment screw to bring the stylus back into contact with the tinfoil, or the aluminum foil in this case. That is a substantial amount of space. And it's really surprising that these dimensions could change that much. This machine hasn't been touched. It's just been sitting here. So that was really, really strange to see that. And so I made one full turn of adjustment to the depth of the cut. It seems to be back in adjustment again. So I'm just going to do a quick recording to see if my hypothesis is correct. So as usual, I'm recording on 1.5 mil aluminum foil. This is plain old kitchen foil that's been cut into a strip, and it's 1.5 thousandths of an inch thick. And I just put some glue on the foil to attach it to the mandrel, and then roll it around the mandrel. As you can see, we're a little bit off on that side. So you just unwind it and pull the foil that way slightly. Roll it back onto the mandrel. Looks like we lined up pretty well that way. And then a bit of glue to hold the foil to itself. Get it nice and tight across this overlap. And that's what you hear when you're turning the mandrel. Tick, 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 tick is the stylus hitting this overlap. If there was a way around that, you could make a really, really quiet recording. So we've got the foil on the mandrel. Now we just go around the edge and roll this foil over on both sides. As I said earlier, when I was originally cutting this, I was cutting it to the same width as the mandrel. But by cutting it wider, it gives you the opportunity of rolling these edges down, which really gets it tight on the mandrel. Takes out all the slack and gives you a good taut surface to record in. Remember, we're indenting here. We're not cutting. So the tighter you can get this, the better your indentations will be. And it's tedious to do this because it takes you, like I said, 5 minutes to get the machine set up to make a 5-second recording. So it's not very efficient. But as far as making recordings, if you take your time and get this machine set up, it'll make a recording that will rival a wax cylinder or a small cassette tape recorder. I mean, you can make some really decent recordings on a tinfoil phonograph if you're willing to invest 2 hours making these little tiny adjustments to it. So in any case, we've got the foil on the machine. We're going to rewind it to our starting point. I've readjusted the depth of the cut. So I'm hoping this is going to make a good recording without any further adjustments. Okay, so just made the first cut, or the actual first groove in the foil, and this gives you a chance to see where you are and how deep you're cutting. Now I've noticed you don't have to cut deep, or you don't have to indent deep to make a loud recording. So recording with the, no, let's record with the speaking tube. We'll record with the speaking tube, and another rendition of Mary Had a Little Lamb, and let's see how this came out. My adjustment, that is. Hello, hello, hello! Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Ha, ha, ha! Alright, so we remove the speaking tube, and I don't know if you can see the indentations or not, but fairly good modulation. And rewind the mandrel to its starting point. I'm just going to leave the camera where it is. I don't know how the horn's going to show up, but you'll be able to hear it, no doubt. Alright, I think we're set. Here's the recording we made after I just adjusted the machine. Alright, so it's really surprising how much these dimensions can change without being touched. That's the really strange thing about it. Just temperature changes, ambient temperatures. And the machine was so out of adjustment, the stylus was just barely touching the foil. That is a substantial amount of space that was created between the end of the stylus and the surface of this foil. Really surprising. But in any case, I'm getting to know the machine now, and so when it does all these little weird things, I can make a little adjustment and bring it back into adjustment. It can make a much louder and a much brighter recording. But what I'm trying to do is find a trade-off where I have reliability in the machine, where I can let it set for who knows how long, walk up to it, put a piece of foil on it, and make a decent recording. Not a perfect, not a great, not an outstanding recording, just a good recording that is more than good enough to demonstrate it, which is what we just did. And that's the whole idea, because I'm going to be using the demonstration phonograph to actually do demonstrations. Very few people have ever seen a tinfoil phonograph. For that matter, very few people have ever seen a wax cylinder phonograph. But it's going to be a lot of fun, and I put a lot of time and energy into this. I want to get this machine running or working the absolute best that I can get it within reason. The base thing I'm looking for now is reliability. So I just want to do a quick video so you could see the results after I had to adjust the machine, because as I said, the stylus, it wouldn't make a recording at all. It was just barely touching the foil. Really incredible. So again, just a quick recording after adjusting the machine. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, TheVictrolaGuy@gmail.com. I answer all of my email, try to answer it the day I get it. But again, if you do have any questions on recording on the Edison tinfoil phonograph, feel free to drop me an email, TheVictrolaGuy@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for watching.